When factoring a trinomial in the form of ax squared plus bx plus c that has a leading coefficient that is non-zero, you can use the AC method for factoring. Step 1, make sure you factor out the GCF. If it can be made simpler, that's what you need to do. Second, make sure your trinomial is in the form of ax squared plus bx plus c, and then you're going to multiply a and c together. From here, you're going to use either technique 1 or 2. I'm going to use 1 to find the factors of AC that will combine to give you b. Next, rewrite the middle term bx as the sum of the two terms whose coefficients are the integers found in step 3, and then factor the rest by using grouping. So 2x squared plus 7x plus 6, we're going to take our a term, 2, and multiply by our c term, 6. So a times c is going to give you 12, and our b term here is 7. So we're going to ask ourselves, what times what will give us 12, but when added together will give us 7. So factors of 12 are 12 and 1, 6 and 2, 4 and 3. So looking through here, I can see immediately that 12, 1 and 6, 2 are not going to work. 4 and 3 are what is going to make this work correctly. So here are my factors, 4 and 3. So I'm going to take that and rewrite 7x as 4x plus 3x. So 2x squared plus 4x plus 3x plus 6. And now I'm going to take the first two terms, group them together, take the last two terms, and group them together, and now I'm going to do the GCF of each group. So the GCF of the first group is going to be 2x, and the inside turns into x plus 2, and the second group has a GCF of 3, so plus 3 and x plus 2. Both have a common factor of x plus 2, so we'll factor that out, and the remaining factor of 2x plus 3. And here is the factored form of this trinomial. Next, negative 2x plus 8x squared minus 3. No GCF here, but this is not in the correct form, so I need to rewrite it as 8x squared minus 2x minus 3. And now I'm going to take my a term and my c term, and I will multiply them together and get negative 24, because 3 here is negative. My b term here is negative 2, and I will ask myself, what times what equals 24? But we'll add together to give me negative 2. So I got a few factors here, 24 and 1, 12 and 2, 8 and 3, and 6 and 4. So now I look through all of these and my eye immediately comes down to 6 and 4. But it's not quite right, so I can actually change 6 to a negative 6. So negative 6 and positive 4 will give me negative 24, and negative 6 and positive 4 when added together will give me negative 2. So the other factors are thrown away, and I have negative 6 and positive 4. So now I'm going to rewrite negative 2x as negative 6x plus 4x. So 8x squared minus 6x plus 4x minus 3. I will group the first two terms together and the second two terms together. And the GCF of the first group is going to be 2x. And that reduces down to 4x minus 3 on the inside. And since I have a 4x minus 3 here, and this is just 4x minus 3, I can just bring the 4x minus 3 down because there's no GCF here, so it has to be the same. And now that they both have a 4x minus 3, I can factor that out. But there's no number here. I got a 2x, but the number here is an understood 1, so I can put plus 1. So the factor form of this is this. Last, 10x cubed minus 85x squared plus 105x. I got a GCF I can see. There's an x in every term, so I can factor that out. And the GCF of 1085 and 105 is 5. So I can factor out a 5x out of everything and reduce it down to 2x squared minus 17x plus 21. So now I'm going to take my a term and my c term, multiply them together, and I'm going to get 42. And my b term is negative 17. So I will ask myself, what times what will give me 42? But when I add it together, I will get negative 17. So I got 42 and 1, 21 and 2, 14 and 3, and 7 and 6. And again, my I goes down to 14 and 3, close to 17, but not quite close enough to negative 17. So let's change those to negatives instead. Double negatives will give me a positive 42, and adding these two numbers here will give me negative 17. So clear out the rest that I don't need, and I got my two factors. So now I keep 5x as is, and I'm going to rewrite it as 2x squared, and negative 17x gets changed to negative 14x minus 3x plus 21. And so now I'm going to group the first two, and I will group the last two, not forgetting that I need to move the negative sign inside the 3. So plus here and a negative there. So now the GCF of the first group is going to be 2x. And the rest simplifies to x minus 7. And the GCF of the second group, I see that my first term is negative and this first term here is positive, so I'm going to need to factor out a negative 3. And the rest turns to x minus 7. And now an x minus 7 is common to both, so keep my 5x outside, get my x minus 7 factored out, and then 2x minus 3 is what's left over. So this is the factored form of this trinomial.